police presence being reported of an incident happening just a little bit north of the area of Mar-a-Lago. Right there is Mar-a-Lago, and I'm going to take you to the area of concern here. You do have zones here of security taking you a little bit from the north, and you have zone areas, as you can see right there. Those are the blockades. So if you're a resident, you come, you show your ID, and then they let you through. Now, if you look closely, you have the red crime scene tape in this area. Usually at any crime scene, that is where the area of an incident that happens, they mark it off with red. So I'm speculating that this vehicle possibly is the one that's involved, which is of concern here. We're having to do a little shot behind the helicopter because it is restricted airspace area, and we can only go into one certain area of Mar-a-Lago. But right there you can see Palm Beach County Sheriff's officials along with FHP doing an investigation right there, and it's right off of by King Street is the name of the street there. So you can see right there, red crime scene tape, go up a little bit north, and you have a vehicle of interest in this area right there. Zoom back down here, right in front of Mar-a-Lago, you have the yellow and the barriers and the blockades, which basically once you get past this area, you're not allowed unless you're definitely a visitor or on a list to get by to go to Mar-a-Lago. Zoom back quickly, and right there is Mar-a-Lago. So again, we have heavy police presence in the area of Mar-a-Lago. Basic area of concern is just a little bit north of Mar-a-Lago. You can see right there, it is a Palm Beach County Sheriff's Eagle unit. They're there in the area taking a good look of anything and making sure, monitoring of anything that might possibly slip by maybe the land authorities. But again, north of Mar-a-Lago, police presence in this area, a crime scene tape and a crime scene area right there, just a little bit north of Mar-a-Lago. I'm Johan Hoffman in Chopper 5. Let's go back to the studio.
Johan, thank you so much for that exclusive view and providing that really good background information for us. We should mention that President Trump is not there, not at Mar-a-Lago right now. However, he was scheduled to fly into town, landing at around 6:45 this evening. And whenever he is in town, you hear us warn you about the road closures. So some of those blockades were in place already. We're just seeing a heightened police presence, more than we usually would see when he's in town.
And obviously, as we take another look from aerial views from Chopper 5, depending on what is going on, this is a very fluid situation. We may see, we're making calls to find out if the president is going to be changing plans. At last check, he was due here right around that 7 p.m. hour. And so still a ways to go. But we do know, as Johan pointed out earlier, this area that we could call ground zero, if you will, it is just north of the president's winter White House.
And let me go ahead and interrupt this confirmed information. We've been making calls all morning since we found out the situation was developing, and we do have some information we can confirm for you now from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. According to their spokesperson, Florida Highway Patrol, they were in pursuit of a black SUV. That SUV was headed towards 2 security checkpoints at Mar-a-Lago, which were in place because the president is arriving. They say that the SUV went through both security checkpoints going towards the main entrance. So you know that definitely puts flags up, especially in this area of the island. Authorities discharged their firearms. They did shoot at the vehicle. The vehicle still fled while being followed by Florida Highway Patrol troopers and deputies with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, including the chopper. The vehicle has been found, and 2 people who were in the vehicle are in custody. So at this point, that is all we know. The confirmed information we're getting. We still don't know if this was something that originated somewhere else within the county and ended up near Mar-a-Lago, or if these people were intending to be in the area.
You've got to imagine, though, there's already been a heightened police presence, though, because of several breaches in the past several months. We do know all of this could be unrelated, but there is a case in court today. On one of the president's last visits, there was a breach. He was not in town, but a man did sneak back past security successfully. That case also going to court. And so police have really been training for this. There's been a lot of multi-agency trainings for things like this. We're getting some new information as this does continue to come in. Erica, I know you mentioned, though, again, taking us through those details. This was actually another incident that was going on. It's just that it turned into a chase that led into this area.
That's what authorities are trying to figure out right now. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is involved involved in the situation as well. So that means we've got local and state authorities working on it. They're trying to organize some sort of press conference to give us the very latest, but let's recap for you what we do know.
Let me briefly interrupt you. We do have Matt Cesny standing by on the phone. Matt, I know you've been working your sources there.
Yeah, I am actually directly across the Intercoastal Waterway, looking directly at the Mar-a-Lago Club right now. Everything looks fairly calm on the property itself, but I think, as you mentioned, everywhere around it, there is increased police activity. There's normally going to be a lot of activity with police and Secret Service on a day when the president arrives, but now after this has happened, everything is locking down much more tightly all around the club and even the island right now. We tried at least 2 ways on the ground to try and get close to the club. We were turned away both on the island of Palm Beach and then on the West Palm Beach side where I am now. The southern bridge is completely cut off. They don't want any traffic, not only near the bridge, but not even near the intersection right now. And as one PBSO deputy told me, that was per orders of the Secret Service. Now, of course, the Secret Service had a busy day ahead because of the president's arrival today, so they were doing their normal security protocols when this incident happened. And one thing they certainly don't like is a disruption to their routine and something that could even be perceived as some kind of a threat. So they fall into some extra security measures, and the response is what we're seeing here is basically completely shutting down this part of the Palm Beach Island to anybody on the West Palm Beach side while that police investigation continues. I did speak with someone from the Palm Beach Police Department who told me that right now PBSO is leading this investigation as to what happened with this vehicle and the shooting. But certainly, if you're in this area, as we were, you can see U.S. Secret Service having a very visible presence and almost directing local authorities on, where to move traffic, where to block traffic, what to close, what to leave open. So it's very much a lockdown situation, if you will, almost as if the president was here, maybe even tighter than some days and visits that the president has. But right now, no one can get near that Mar-a-Lago Club and even near the Southern Bridge right now.
What we can confirm, 2 security checkpoints were breached. At this point, authorities do have 2 people in custody, and we know the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is going to be spearheading the investigation at this point into the shooting. Not exactly sure who all the players are involved in this shooting.
Right. The sheriff's office telling us they're still trying to figure out which officers actually fired a weapon towards the vehicle, and we're still trying to determine whether or not anyone was hurt, whether inside the vehicle or any officers. That information not confirmed at this time, but we do know it started with the Florida Highway Patrol in pursuit of a vehicle that then went through the 2 checkpoints, happened to be at Mar-a-Lago because of the president's arrival tonight. We're still trying to figure out if the president will be arriving at the same time that he was scheduled to, about 6:45 this evening. And we've got our crews, Michelle Casada, right there at the Southern Bridge. So just be aware there is a bit of a traffic situation. That bridge shut down.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to get to Michelle in just a second as soon as we get the all clear. This, though, a very, very active scene. The security, we can't stress how tight it is. Ahead of the president's arrival this evening, we already had air, land, and water restrictions, and now it looks like they're really doubling down on what is going on there. These are exclusive views you'll only see right here on News Channel 5 from Chopper 5. This is near Mar-a-Lago. The point in question here, where this incident kind of led to, is just north of Mar-a-Lago. But again, it really does encompass this particular section of the island where all of this is going on. Michelle Casado, I'm being told she is ready for us. Michelle, give us the latest from where you are.
Colony, we're here at South Holland Avenue and Southern Boulevard. As you can see, the intersection is still blocked off, and all the intersections heading east on Southern Boulevard after this one are blocked off as well. A little further down, we did see Secret Service agents working with Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies trying to direct traffic heading west. They're not letting anyone over the Southern Boulevard Bridge at Flagler Drive over to the island. Now, we do know that we are supposed to be hearing shortly from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office over at the Flanagan's restaurant down here. We're told that there's going to be a media staging area there. As of right now, we do know that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is the lead agency investigating this incident today. So we're still trying to find out a little bit more information. We did tell you earlier that we saw Florida Highway Patrol trooper cars that were heading west on Southern Boulevard, and that makes sense now that we know that there was possibly a second scene where the suspects were caught in that SUV that PBSO told us about. So right now, as you can tell, it's a little bit of a mess on Southern Boulevard as a lot of people are trying to head east and go over the bridge, and they're being redirected. We will try to keep you up to date with the traffic pattern out here, but for now, definitely, if you are trying to head east on the island, Southern Boulevard is probably not the way to go right now. Everything's blocked off, so we'll try to keep you updated from out here. Thanks so much. Sending it back to you in the studio.
Alrighty, Michelle, that area already congested. It is the lunch hour. It is season. As many of you are familiar, there are only certain ways, just a few ways on and off Palm Beach Island into West Palm Beach.
Keep in mind, we've got you covered. We've got Johan Hoffen in the air. He is flying above Mar-a-Lago, monitoring the situation. Although there is restricted access, he's doing his best to give us the very best view that he can. Michelle Casada right there at the Southern Bridge, and Matt Cesney working his sources, joining us by phone. This while we wait to hear from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement about where this all started and if these people accidentally ended up in the area or in fact intended to breach security checkpoints at Mar-a-Lago.
Sabira Rayford standing by live for us right now. Sabira, kind of tell us where you are and take us through what you know.
Holly, right now I'm right here on Southern Boulevard and Flagler Drive. Now I'm with photojournalist Amanda Crane, and I want you to pan over right here, Amanda, just so they can see what we've been experiencing for at least about an hour now. No one is allowed on this bridge right here on Flagler Drive and Southern Boulevard. Now this is the bridge that we know President Trump takes when he comes in through his motorcade, and so far as soon as we got here, we haven't seen anyone any pedestrians or any media allowed to cross the bridge. Now, also, while I was on this scene, I've been told by the deputy on the scene that this is a Secret Service is involved in this right now. And actually, we've even seen workers not able to go in certain parts of the water, in certain parts of this bridge right here on Southern Boulevard and Flagler Drive. It's been an extremely active scene. We've seen a number of different law enforcement agencies coming off the bridge. At one point, when we first got here around an hour ago, two law enforcement cars, we don't know which because they were unmarked, black SUVs came by at a pretty fast speed, heading south on this direction and heading down Southern Boulevard. So this is what we have right now on this scene right here on Flagler Drive and Southern Boulevard. And as soon as we get any additional information from this scene, and as soon as this area opens back up, we'll be sure to let you know. For now, reporting live in West Palm Beach, Sabira Rayford, WPTV News Channel 5.
All right, Sabira.
Yeah, Sabira, thank you. I also want to give you some breaking updated information from WPTV News Channel 5, Stephanie Suskind, who is at a police law enforcement scene at a Motel 6 off of Australian Avenue. There are several vehicles. We'll try and get those pictures on the air for you in just a moment here. Several marked and unmarked law enforcement vehicles in front of that motel, and she confirmed with the Florida Highway Patrol that what they're working at that motel is connected to the situation on Palm Beach near Mar-a-Lago. The SWAT team, the Secret Service, Florida Highway Patrol, and the Sheriff's Office are at the Motel 6 off of Australian Avenue. This is obviously just on the other side of Palm Beach Island.
Yeah, so in terms of proximity, we're only talking a couple miles difference here, which would in fact corroborate what we have been able to learn and nail down thus far in terms of FHP pursuing this SUV. It was heading toward really just trying to escape when it so happened to go onto the island near Mar-a-Lago, breaching two security checkpoints there on the town of Palm Beach. And obviously, once that happens, all signals, all alarms and flags are raised. We do want to again reiterate that there was some type of shooting involved in this incident, still trying to figure out exactly who fired and at whom. But we are told that two people are in custody.
And that it was officials who fired their weapons, but at this point not known if it was troopers or deputies, what agency. It's definitely some preliminary information that they have to get to the bottom of. Investigators working this very fluidly, trying to figure out where they can meet us to give you some updated information. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement trying to arrange a news conference as we speak.
Michelle Camasada, very familiar with this particular area of town. Michelle, I know that you have been standing by. Do you have something new for us?
Holly, well, right now we just see traffic being redirected. It has been like this for the last hour or so. We do see a lot more cars heading west, though, coming off of Flagler Drive. We did earlier see that there were some drivers that were being let off of the island through the Southern Boulevard Bridge, heading west on Southern Boulevard. So they were letting people come west on Southern Boulevard. They just haven't let anybody go east on Southern Boulevard, headed over to the island. A little bit of a traffic mess. As you can see, there are a lot of people, I guess, heading out for lunch or going back to work from lunch, trying to get back to their jobs or to their destinations. And we have Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies kind of redirecting them in all different directions here. This is the intersection of South Olive Avenue and Southern Boulevard. And Southern Boulevard, this is the beginning of where it's blocked off on South Olive Avenue, heading east all the way up to the Flagler Drive intersection, where you do get on the Southern Boulevard Bridge. And there's also a lot of construction down there, so I know they're trying to navigate drivers who are heading north and south on Flagler Drive as well, but they cannot head east as of right now. We have seen Secret Service agents out here as well. We've seen Florida Highway Patrol troopers. We had told you earlier that we did see a couple trooper vehicles head west on Southern Boulevard at a very high rate of speed, and possibly heading to that second location that we were told about. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office did say that the vehicle that was involved in this incident was, they did catch up to it at another location and took those individuals in custody, so it's possible that they were heading to that second scene. But we're trying to keep you up to date with what's going on with the traffic pattern. Definitely just know that Southern Boulevard is blocked off at South Olive Avenue. Heading east, you will not be able to use Southern Boulevard, so make sure you rearrange your plans. We don't know how long it's going to be blocked off. We are expecting to hear from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office shortly. They have set up a media staging area. It's a location where all the reporters and photographers gather to get the most up-to-date information. So we're waiting to hear when that will happen. We'll try to keep you updated from out here live in West Palm Beach. Michelle Casada, WPTV News Channel 5.
Michelle, thank you. And this just into our newsroom. NBC News confirming that the president will not be changing his travel arrangements due to this ongoing investigation near Mar-a-Lago. NBC News confirming that he is expected to still leave Joint Base Andrews around 4 o'clock this afternoon, arriving in Palm Beach County around 6:30, 6:45. So remember, a lot of these roadblocks were already in place because we were anticipating the president to fly into Palm Beach County tonight.
For the most part, it does seem like it really is business as usual on the island, other than in this specific spot. Obviously, road closures that our reporters have been mentioning, but we are seeing some activity just throughout. Another sign that it's business, correct, that the president is not changing his travel plans at this point.
Right, and just keep in mind there is a second scene that we have confirmed is connected to the situation near Mar-a-Lago, and that's at a Motel 6 off of Australian Avenue. A huge police presence there as well, so we're working to confirm exactly how the two scenes are connected. Again, those are answers that we should be getting here shortly once we speak with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
We're going to stay on air with you for a few more minutes, but of course we will continue our coverage throughout the day on air, also online, WPTV.com, and our free WPTV mobile app. I'm going to go ahead and ask our producer if we could go ahead. We do have exclusive Chopper 5 aerial footage, just really no other way to put it, but the massive police presence, obviously a high secure area anyhow, but we have definitely seen an emphasis on security within the last hour or so because of the situation that started in West Palm Beach carrying over into this area.
Right, that vehicle that was apparently trying to get away from law enforcement officers, according to the sheriff's office, breaching 2 security checkpoints, heading right towards the main entrance of Mar-a-Lago. So law enforcement immediately on high alert as they approach this area, an area that Holland mentioned, has already been under scrutiny for several security breaches before this has happened. In fact, one woman was due in court today, caught going through areas she wasn't allowed to be and taking pictures of Mar-a-Lago. So there have been several investigations leading up to this one that have breached security there and caused major security concerns.
WPTV News Channel 5 Stephanie Seskine, she is in the field. She has been working the phones. She is the one to first report this information about this second crime scene that has been connected to this. Let's go out live to her. She's standing by. Stephanie.
We are at the Motel 6 off Australian Avenue. I have confirmed with authorities this is connected to the scene that played out at Mar-a-Lago. Now you can see a lot of police presence out here. The sheriff's office, I'm told the Secret Service is in charge of the scene here, and the SUV that was involved in the chase in this whole situation is here on property. We're told that it's behind the tape. There are a lot of people who were at the hotel. They are being told to stay in place at this time while authorities continue their investigation. So the sheriff's office is here, FHP is here, again, Secret Service, they are in charge of this investigation. And again, this is connected to everything that played out on Palm Beach. We have confirmation of that, the SUV involved and the two people taken into custody. That SUV is here. So somehow that situation ended at this parking lot. We're right off Australian Avenue, just near Belvedere. This is a little bit of an office park. There is a Motel 6 here, and a lot of police and a lot for this situation. So we'll be out here all afternoon to gather more information, but we do know that the situation ended here with that SUV and the two people taken into custody. Back to you.
Stephanie, thank you very much. Johan Hoppen chiming in right now. He has moved from near Mar-a-Lago. He is now right around Australian over Motel 6, giving you basically a bird's eye view of the police activity that is going on there. So you have two scenes at this point that we are working with. We are going to be leaving you here briefly as we continue to gather new details, but this is definitely the story of the day, given the president will be in town in the next few hours.
You better believe we've got our crews spread out around Palm Beach County, on the phones, in the newsroom, and in the air, working to bring you the very latest. We'll let you know as soon as we get some more confirmed details from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. In the meantime, you can expect President Trump to land in Palm Beach County still at 6:45 tonight.
All right, that does it for us. Stay with us on air and online, WPTV.com.